It was a Friday evening in one of the most expensive restaurants in Manhattan. The golden lights hung from the ceiling like tiny stars, and every table was filled with people wearing designer clothes and talking in low, polished voices. At the corner table sat Marcus Hale, one of the richest men in the world. His empire stretched across technology, real estate, and finance. He was worth over $12 billion, and everyone in the room knew exactly who he was. His bodyguard stood quietly near the door, arms crossed, watching every move. Marcus had a reputation, not just for his wealth, but for the way he treated people around him. Waiters, drivers, and even managers. None of them were safe from his sharp tongue and cold attitude. He believed that money gave him the right to speak to anyone however he wanted, and no one had ever dared to stop him. Tonight was supposed to be no different. A young woman named Elaine walked up to his table with a warm smile. She was new at the restaurant, just 3 weeks into the job. She had short brown hair, tired eyes, and hands that smelled of lemon from cleaning tables all day. She picked up his empty glass and asked politely if he wanted a refill. Marcus barely looked at her. He waved his hand and snapped, "Can you not see my glass is empty? How long have you been working here? Are you even trained properly?" His voice was loud enough for the nearby tables to hear. A few people shifted in their seats. Elaine did not flinch. She had heard worse words before in her life. She had raised her younger brother alone after their mother passed away. She had worked double shifts for 2 years just to pay rent. Words from a man in a fancy suit did not break her, but something inside her changed that evening. Maybe it was the exhaustion. Maybe it was the fact that she had already cried 3 times that week from stress and had promised herself no one would make her cry again. She placed his glass down on the table slowly, looked directly into his eyes, and said with a calm but firm voice, "Shout at me again and this ends. I don't care how much money you have. You do not get to speak to me like that." The entire restaurant went silent. Forks stopped moving. Glasses stopped clinking. Everyone turned to look. Marcus Hale, the man who had never been challenged in his life, sat there frozen. His mouth opened slightly, but no words came out. His bodyguard took a small step forward, but Marcus raised his hand and stopped him. For a long moment, nobody breathed. Then something unexpected happened. Marcus looked down at his hands. He thought about his own mother, a simple woman who worked in a small shop her entire life. He remembered how she used to say, "Money can buy comfort, but it can never buy respect. You have to earn that." He had forgotten those words for a very long time. He looked back at Elaine, and for the first time in years, he felt something he had not felt in a long while. Shame. He stood up slowly, straightened his jacket, and said quietly, "You are right. I am sorry." That was completely unacceptable. The restaurant stayed silent for another second. Then one person started clapping. Then another. Soon the entire room was applauding. Elaine simply nodded, smiled gently, and walked back to the kitchen. The next morning, Marcus personally called the restaurant and arranged a full scholarship for Elaine to finish her business degree. He also left an envelope on the table with a note that said, "You taught me something no one else could. Thank you. Sometimes the bravest people are not the richest or the strongest. Sometimes they are the ones who simply refuse to be broken." That was Elaine. That was her moment. And the world finally saw it. If you enjoyed this story, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel Kindness Voice. Your support means everything to us. Keep watching, keep feeling, and keep believing in the power of kindness. Thank you.